All right, everybody. Let me do this. I wanted to jump in and be able to help anybody who needs any type of help. So if you are here, feel free to put in the chat anything that you need help with. I'm going to walk through a couple things today. I'm actually opening up Serato. Let me know if you can see this right there. I'm opening up Serato on my side. And there's a new version of Serato that has just come out. It doesn't have any sort of crazy update in it, but there is a new version. And so right now, I just want to show you where we can check what version I'm on. So right now, if I go over to the settings area, I can look at the very bottom right-hand corner, and we'll see that it says I'm at version 4.0.0. So 400 is what I'm currently at. And what I want to do is I want to download the new version of this. So if I go to, let me go to Chrome. Let's just create a new tab here. And I'm just going to go to Serato.com. And I'm going to go to Serato DJ Pro. And you'll see that there is 4.0.2. Now, before I do anything, I want to shout out Bry. Hey, Coach Bry, what's going on, man? Before I do anything, what I want to do is I want to rename the version of Serato that I'm currently on. This is really, really important. Let me reiterate how important this is. So anytime I've got a beta of any type of software or anything like that, typically what it'll do is if I were to download this right now, it would download as Serato DJ Pro. That's it. It would just download as Serato DJ Pro. So I want to make sure that I rename what I already have in my system to not be Serato DJ Pro, but instead to be Serato DJ Pro 4.0.0. In this case, we can't use points, so we're going to use underscores. So I'm going to go back and show you here. So you'll probably see this on mine anyways. Let's actually go to... let's go to applications, and we can see when I look at Serato, you'll see I've already renamed it. So in order to do this, all you need to do is you just need to hover over it and then be able to change the name of it. This is really important. You'll notice I also have Serato 3, 3.3.2, which was the version that I had right before this one. So I renamed them as I downloaded them. And that one, there was a huge change that happened with Serato Pro 4. And so in this case, let's go ahead and download this new one. Because it will just download, it's not going to download and it won't come in as 4 underscore 0 underscore 2. It'll just come in as Serato DJ Pro. So I'm going to click on that. Yep, here it comes. It's coming down. And once it comes down, I like to rename them just to get in the habit of renaming things. So really important when you do this, make sure to name them so you know what you've got, and then to have backups. Now, you might be asking, Coach, why do we need to rename them? You don't need to. It's just that if for some reason your computer didn't like the new version and you wanted to revert to the old version, you still could. So that's where it becomes really important to be able to do that. I'm going to check on the chat here and say hey to Bry. Hey, Bry. By the way, if you are here and you are joining us for the first time, jump into the chat and say hello. I'm here to answer any questions that you might have. It could be anything. It could be something as a beginner, intermediate, advanced. I'm here to go through all of it, but I did want to just show you today how I could do this and download the new version of Serato 4.0.2 and then to take a look with you guys. I don't think that there's been some real major changes. I think it's all pretty basic. A lot of it is compatibility with the new controllers, with the new things that have come out. I think I saw in the notes, actually, let's go back to this because we can look at that there too. And I know for some of you are maybe more computer savvy than others, but you'll see what's new in 4.0.2, the Alpha Theta DJM V5 and Reloop Flux Go support, the Slab support, Mac OS Tahoe support. So if you're using Mac OS 26 Tahoe now, this will officially be supported by Serato, which is great. And then of course the new library, Spotify Premium streaming support, CDJ 3000X support, and RAIM 1 MK2 support. So that's all good. Those are all good things. It'll also tell you though what the requirements would be, right, to be able to run this. So if you're wondering, you know, will this run on my computer? You know, the suggested for high performance is 16 gigs of RAM or higher. The processor being an Apple M1, M2 or higher, or an Intel Core i9, year 2018 or later. This is, of course, for a Mac. It would be different if it was Windows. So if you look at Windows, you'll see 8 gigs or higher, processors i5 or better, and you'll see these recommended specs. This is for just to run like the bare minimum, High performance, though, you'll see Core i9, Ryzen 7, and 16 gigs or higher. So and same with the video memory, dedicated 2 gigs or higher, and Windows 11. So every now and then we'll get students who will say, "Hey, I'm having some issues with Serato. Like Serato's not loading right on my machine." And unfortunately, if you're running too old of a computer, that may be a part of the issue. There's other options in terms of software. Like there are other things that are out there, but you wouldn't be able to run Serato. And Serato is a pretty, I don't want to say it's an advanced software because it's not. It's also designed for beginners, but it's really designed to be performance software. So, you know, if you're finding that you're having trouble with that, maybe some other options to maybe look into would be checking out maybe Virtual DJ, which I know works with almost anything, and you can get kind of up and going fairly easily. You still might have some issues here and there if your computer is too old, and unfortunately, that's just something that we have to be mindful of as a DJ. You've got to upgrade your computer. Right now, I think I'm running a MacBook Pro. This is a 2021 MacBook Pro, which, by the way, sometimes people aren't sure, like, how do I check what version my computer is? And again, if you're not a computer nerd, which I'm not, just so you know, I'm not that guy. I've had to learn about some of these things because this is the tool that I'm using. So I want to show you, though, for all of you maybe not as technical people like me, I'm going to show you where you can find that here in the software. So let me, or on your laptop. So let me switch over to that. By the way, I see Roxy here. Hey, Roxy, good to see you. Beginner, welcome. Bulgaria, to use AI to help DJing. These are great questions. Stick around. I'm going to answer both of those. Or Roxy, if you have a particular question, let me know. Otherwise, Electronic Box 6990 from Bulgaria, welcome. And I want to talk about AI here in just a moment. But I do want to show you, so on a Mac computer, you can go up here to the top left-hand corner, and you can say About this Mac. And then you'll be able to see what your Mac is. So this is an M1 Pro chip. It's got 16 gigs of RAM. And then if I click more info, it should open up to, then it'll start to tell me like how big the hard drive is and things like that when I look at storage, right? So this is a 500 gig hard drive, which you can see I've got 77 gigs available left. You know, so this is my daily driver. I use this sucker every day for the most part, and this is what I DJ with as well. Now, the reason why I bring this up though is because this is an M1 Pro. I love it. It works great. I'm also running Sonoma right now. I haven't upgraded the OS, which I'll probably upgrade the OS here shortly. But, you know, you have to prepare. So this is 2021. 14-inch 2021. I probably need to buy a new computer this year. I will probably upgrade my MacBook Pro this year. I try to stay at least within a couple of years. Like, so I'll have a computer for maybe 3 years and then I'll upgrade it. It's not cheap, but it's a necessity. The other thing too, by the way, is for the most part, I buy most of my Macs that I use. I buy most of my Macs used. Like I'll buy them where there may be an open box, or sometimes it's refurbished every now and then, but you'll save a little bit that way, and I'll buy it with a warranty so that if anything happens, like I can handle it. But you'll definitely save a lot more than just buying it the day that MacBook Pro comes out, right? So, so far, this thing has been pretty great to me. Haven't had many issues, but I am on the radar. I'm looking out for like sales that will go on for MacBook Pros, maybe looking for like an M4 chip. You know, I'm kind of keeping an eye out for something like that, maybe 24 gigs of RAM, you know, just kind of being aware of what's out there. So, and that'll probably run me about a little under $2,000, hopefully. You know, I want to try to stay under $2,000 for me personally. That's kind of where I like to be. But Feel free to put in the chat any questions that you have here. I'm excited that some of you are joining in and from all over the place. Roxy, you said, do you have a beginner technique for mixing house versus songs with a lot of words like R&B and hip hop or pop? Do you suggest I start transitioning after the chorus or find an instrumental part? Really, really, really great questions. My whiteboard somehow went down today. So my digital whiteboard went down. So what I'm going to use an old school sheet of paper. Okay, and hopefully you're going to be able to see this all right. But I'm going to draw this out because I think it's helpful to be able to see it. And then we'll look at some house music because I love house music and I love being able to mix house music as well. But we're going to look at it real quick. So let me get a overhead here. Okay, can you see this white sheet of paper? All right. Now, I know it would be nicer if I had my whole digital setup and whatever, but that's okay. We'll go with this today. So we've got a house song that's playing. Really, this could be any song, right? But in this case, let's call this a house song, and then we're going to start bringing in another song underneath it. So for a period of time, let me see if I can. For a period of time, the two songs are mixing together, right? So this is song A. This is song B. Right, a couple things to remember here. And again, some of this, you could consider this beginner, but this is really fundamental, right? Like this is fundamental stuff that we've got here. So we want to consider the BPM. And my rule of thumb is plus or minus 4. So if I've got a song that's 125 beats per minute, I'm looking for something that is between 121 and 129. Right? That gives us an idea of what we're looking for. So let's say this one was 125. Let's say this one was 127. So what we'd be doing is we're going to beat match them, whether you do this manually or you use sync. Let's say A is playing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 127 now 125 by pitching that down. So I'll pitch it down a little bit. Now it's 125. Now, where in the song do we mix this? This is a great question, right? So we have different parts of the song. In fact, I'm going to write them down real quick. So we've got like an intro. Maybe have a verse. Have a chorus. Bridge. Outro. These are 5 basic parts of the song. Now, in house music, we also might have sections that are just purely instrumental, and you don't necessarily know what to call that. Is that a verse? Is it a chorus? Like, what is it? Is it just is it a bridge? You could have these sections, and as long as you know what those sections are, that's the most important part. So let's just say this. This is also really important. I know I'm like writing all over the place here. I'm used to my digital whiteboard here. We cannot have vocals over vocals. We cannot have that. Can't have vocals over vocals, right? So that means that as these two are playing, either this section or this section has to be instrumental. They don't both have to be instrumental, but just one of them does. If both of them are instrumental, great. That works out fine. But at least one of them has to be instrumental. Okay, so let's say that this section here goes into an instrumental section. And let's say that the length of this from here to here is 16 bars. Let's say that we've got also this intro here, which is also instrumental in this case, let's say, and is also 16 bars. Well, this is great, right? Because then this makes this kind of a no-brainer. I can line these up. I can set my hot cues here, and I've got another hot cue set here, and I know that these will line up perfectly as I mix them. I keep them in the whole time, and then at the very end of this section, now I'm out of this, and I'm fully into this song. And so this is sort of how we would set up something like this. This gives you a better understanding of how maybe you would put this together. The most important thing when it comes to DJing is knowing your music. You've got to know your music. You've got to be able to break down the track, understand where the different sections are in the track, and then be able to seamlessly mix those pieces together. And not everything is going to fit with everything. But I hear this all the time, or I see this all the time from a lot of my students and a lot of other people. People say, I just need to practice more. And it's not just about practicing more. In fact, we have a saying around here that is actually one of our core values. Proper practice makes, not perfect, proper practice makes progress. So it's really important that you're practicing properly. Coach, what do you mean by practicing properly? What I mean by that is you actually should spend more time downloading songs and mapping those songs out, figuring out how to get in and out of those songs, as opposed to rehearsing a set over and over again. Once you know the track and you know the different sections of where you can get in and get out, then you can have a lot of fun experimenting, figuring out like how to put these different combinations of things together. So hopefully that helps. I hate to cut this short. I didn't realize that I've got to jump off real fast, but I wanted to see if there was interest out there and interest in some type of live coaching. So I want to do these more often. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe like this video and then subscribe to the channel. You'll be notified every time we go live. I plan on going live at least once a week this year. At least I'm going to set out to do that over the next several months. And if you need help, please bring your questions. Feel free to comment on the videos as well with your questions. And when I go live next, I'll take some of those questions. Like I know my guy I don't want to say it's a guy, maybe it's a female from Bulgaria was asking about how to use AI to help you with DJing. And I've got a couple of AI tools that I've been experimenting with, so I want to show you that next time. And David says, thanks for all you do. What music pools are good for beginners and old timers like me? We'll get into record pools when I come back and we do live again. If you haven't checked this out already, make sure to go to thedjcoach.com. I'm actually hosting a 3-day live session starting next week. Technically, we were supposed to take down the early bird price. You'll actually probably still see the early bird price up right now. It's $37 for 3 nights live with me. Like this, but deeper and with focus. So if you're looking to level up your DJ skills, you want to level up your career as a DJ, you wanting to figure out how you can get booked more or have better bookings, please make sure to join us for our Level Up Live. I will see all of you later. Thank you for joining. Thank you for stopping by. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel so that you get updated on when I go live next, which should be shortly. Bye, everybody. Have a good one.